themselves to be in a certain situation. Or sometimes it's because somebody has a plan to teach someone something or to teach a group of people something. So it's very difficult for us to judge. And it's very impossible for us to fathom the results of karmic actions. Karma, actually, the word karma, it means action. That's all it means. It doesn't mean payback. It doesn't mean action, reaction. It doesn't mean anything like that. The word karma simply means action. It means our thoughts, our words, and our deeds that we put forth. So it's very, very difficult to fathom why things happen to us. We will not be able to trace back the source of that. It's impossible. All we can do is deal with the situations at hand and try to do the best we can under every situation and circumstance. And there are some tools to help you. For example, affirmative prayer is a very powerful tool that can help you.
This is just fascinating to me. I know I'm just sitting here listening. It's just fascinating. When you talk about the healing side of it, and when people talk about life as being so unfair,
right?
When you talk about the victim and the volunteer, to me that's a very interesting concept. In order to heal, in order to move on from whatever situation that you're on, you have to stop volunteering to be the victim.
That's right.
You know, you have to look at it as you're not a victim, you're a survivor, no matter what the situation is.
Exactly.
And I think people forget that.
Right.
And I think
and to see situations as opportunities for growth, you know. Here's something, I have a challenge before me. What do I do now? Do I crumble? Do I react? Am I going to be hateful and violent? What am I going to do about this? Or am I going to see that bigger perspective? Am I going to realize I created this somehow? I don't need to know and trace back how I created it.
Yeah.
It's been created. So now what do I do? How do I deal with this situation? What can I do to make it better? You know? So all we can do is just get up every day, you know, and do the best we can.
And do the best we can.
Be as good of a person as we can and be as kind, generous, gentle, compassionate, and loving to everyone that we meet as we can. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do. That's really all we can do. Can you give us an example of some of the people that have used your insta-healing methods?
Well, I sure can. I can tell you a really cool little story about a woman named Carolyn from Fresno. And she was walking her dog and with her bike. And instead of putting his lead on the arm of her bike, she put it on her left wrist. That wasn't such a good idea because the dog went in the opposite direction of her bike. And of course, she fell off and her arm was mangled. And so she went to the doctor at the clinic who x-rayed her arm and told her that it was severely separated and it would require surgery. And he further stated, quote, "You won't be able to lie down to sleep for 2 weeks." So what Carolyn thought in her mind was cancel when the physician said that to her. And the doctor said, "You'll be in severe pain for a year." And she said, cancel. And the doctor said, "That step on your shoulder will never go away." She said, cancel. And the physician said, "This is how I handle it. I get up in the morning, have a pain pill, a cigar, and a Coke." Now Carolyn really thought cancel.
Oh, yeah.
So his last statement made her realize that this wasn't what she wanted to create, and so she separated her reality from the doctors. And her appointment with the orthopedic surgeon was in 3 days, and she kept reminding herself during that time that the doctor told her the facts facts, F-A-C-T-S, the facts, but it wasn't the truth. She went into meditation and prayed for perfect healing for her shoulder, and she visualized that her shoulder was perfect. And she repeated a prayer treatment morning and night for healing for the shoulder. And that night she taped her arm to her side and went to bed. She lay down and went to bed. And during the day, when the pain was severe, she calmly said, "Thank you, God, that every cell in my body knows its perfection and now manifests that perfection." And the pain went away. Wow. So when she went into the surgeon who looked at her x-rays 3 days later, he asked her whether he had the right x-rays because they didn't match her shoulder. So she thrust her seemingly separated arm into the air, saying yes. Her doctor still calls it a miracle, and she simply calls it the truth.
Yeah.
And Carolyn says we are constantly creating our reality and have the power to change the effects by simply realizing they aren't the truth about us, just the facts.
I love it.
Isn't that amazing?
Good story.
Good story. And it's actually very similar to what happened with my mother.
Oh, my goodness.
Where she was, I won't name the product, but it was a product that was used in many hospitals and is still used today. And she developed a staph infection, so they gave her this product to put on her face, and it got into her eyes. And it burned off the top 2 layers of her eyes and down to the cornea. And they told her that she would be blind the rest of her life.
Oh, my
that
goodness.
There's no repair that is around that could replace the layers of skin on top of her eye. And she said, well, I have 5 daughters to raise, and I have a job to do, and I have bills to pay, and whatever you're trying to tell me is not going to happen. And she put the patches on her eyes. She continued to work. We would drive her to and from work, my sisters would. And within 3 months, 1 patch was gone. And within 6 months, the other patch was gone. Wow. And she had, she had to wear glasses, but nothing dramatic. And when the ophthalmologist looked at her eyes, there was no scars.
Wow.
There was nothing on her eyes that would have indicated any issues whatsoever, other than her pupils were oblong rather than round. That's the only indication that there was anything wrong with her eyes. Mm-hmm. But she just said, I just can't be blind. I will not do this. And miracles do happen. I truly believe that it's a state of mind. And the people that come out of these horrific things that happen to them survive. And I truly believe that, in fact, there was another, you can tell I read the news a lot. There was another article today with one of the young women who lost one of her legs in the bombing in Boston. Yes. And she said, I will dance again. Wow. And she says, I have no doubt that she's already out of the hospital. She had her leg amputated from the knee down. She was supposed to still be in the hospital. She's back at home recovering. And she says, I will dance again. And I have no doubt that she will dance again. I have no doubt that the people that are recovering will recover and will continue to live full lives because of this horrendous experience. They are the ones that we need to look up to keep that positive energy going, because they're positive.
Right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't survive.
Exactly.
Oh, incredible. Unbelievable. This is so cool. So if you were to give us and to give the listeners one of your healing methods, what would that one be? One of the essential healings, what would that be?
Well, I would give them what I call the self-authority affirmation. It's the first affirmation in the book, Instant Healing, and it's something that will really help them to gain great self-empowerment, inner strength, peace of mind. It will help them to not be intimidated in any situation, to feel tremendous confidence. So I would say that this thing called the self-authority affirmation is first and foremost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat it line by line, and I would like your listeners to say it back line by line after I say each line. And then see how you feel after you say, just notice how you're feeling now, and then just notice how you feel after you say this affirmation. I'll give one other instruction before I begin, and that is we're going to use the words I am. And when you say the words I am, I would like you to say these words as though it is your higher self, your true self, your I am self, whatever you want to call it, the best part of yourself, your most spiritual part of yourself, is saying the affirmation, is saying the words I am, not your ego, but your higher self. So with those instructions, please repeat after me line by line. It goes like this. I am in control. I am the only authority in my life. I am divinely protected by the light of my being. I close off my aura and body of light to the lower astral levels of mind. And I open to the spiritual world. Thank you, God, and so it is.
I like this. I'm writing all these down.
Good. So this is a really powerful affirmation that I recommend people do on a daily basis. And it will keep your energy, it will give you greater energy, it will make you feel greatly empowered, it will give you confidence, and it will help you in all situations.
I like it. I like it. And I think this is something that's easily done.
It is.
Oh, Susan, thank you so much for coming on to the show. Now, where can people
You're
find
welcome.
your book? Your books,
okay,
plural.
My
They're
latest
kind of all
book,
over the
Instant
place.
Healing, is available on Amazon.com. And there's going to be a, let's see, starting tonight, I'm doing an Amazon.com special promotion starting at midnight at getinstanthealing.com. That's getinstanthealing.com, where you can get hundreds and hundreds of dollars in bonus gifts if you order the book tomorrow through Amazon.com or through BarnesandNoble.com. And also, I have a website, drsusan.org. That's drsusan.org. And you can get my book there, obviously, but you'll get it a lot faster on Amazon.com. So I recommend that.
I'm just putting all of your information into our chat room here.
Also, I have another website, divinetravels.com, which is about my travels and tours to sacred destinations. That's DIVINETRAVELS.com, Divine Travels. That's plural, divinetravels.com. So once again, drsusan.org and getinstanthealing.com for the Amazon.com promotion that's starting tonight at midnight, all day tomorrow.
Fantastic. So they can go there after midnight tonight and check out the special deal and the special promotion that you have going on.
Yeah, there's an incredible special deal. You're going to get hundreds of dollars of bonus gifts, not only from me, but from 100 other authors and famous authors and amazing people.
Oh, I'm going there. I'm going to go check it out.
Good.
I'll be there. Well,
Right.
Doctor, I thank you very, very, very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Again, I know it was last minute, but I do appreciate you coming on to the show.
My pleasure.
And thank you very much. And you have a great evening.